My name is Eric D. Johnson, also on BrightShine. They're right here in the city of Memphis, in the county. It's in the state of Tennessee. Today's date is early Tuesday morning, May the 28th, 2019. The time, 2:36 a.m. First, I thank all my family, my support for your continued encouragement, support. I'm continuing to keep myself employed right here in the Memphis tri-state area. I'm continuing to further my education in Monroe College online. Continue to pursue my social degree study in business administration, concentration mark. At this present time, I took a break from going to school, but in the very near future, I will be going back to Monroe College online to continue to pursue my social degree study in business administration, concentration mark. This year, in January of 2019, I enrolled at Health Tech Institute of Memphis right here in this Memphis tri-state area in the medical assistant program. And the reason why I did that, because back in 2009, 2010, I was a student at Remington College in the medical business and coding program, and I did graduate in 2010 with a diploma, but I didn't graduate with a certification. So without certification, you can't be employed in the healthcare field, and I still got to pay that student loan back. So like I said, this year in January 2019, I enrolled at Health Tech Institute of Memphis in the medical assistant program, and when I graduated in October of this year, in October 2019, I graduated with a diploma as well as with the certification. Then I'll be able to be employed in the healthcare field. Then I'll be also pay my student loans back. Then I'll be able to go back to Monroe College online, pursue my social degree in business administration, concentration market, and earn my social degree. And what I'm gonna do right now is and also, yesterday was Memorial Day. Excuse me. Yesterday was Memorial Day, so I hope Memorial Day was enjoyable for everyone, and as it was for me. And like I said, so what I'm gonna do now, do my Instagram. Hello everybody, my name is Eric D. Johnson, also on BrightShine. They're right here in the city of Memphis, in the county series, in the state of Tennessee. Today's date is early Tuesday morning, May the 28th, 2019. The time, 2:40 a.m. First, I thank all my friends. Thank all my friends and support for your encouragement, support. Anti-gang. These are just a few of the free logo design websites you can go to make anti-gang logo. First, I want to always give thanks to God for all the blessings and the guidance that He provides us all with. And that's the most important thing. Always thank God. Always thank God. There's no such thing, no devil worship. Never has been. God is the creator of everything. So what made you think God would even tolerate worshiping the devil? See, we need to get this thought out of our mind anyway. God is the creator of all. Is the creator of everything. He never tolerated the devil. So get that thought out your mind like it's some kind of tolerance that God is tolerating the devil. That's a lie. And He most certainly ain't gonna tolerate you worshiping the devil. That's another lie. And we need to get this mess straightened out. And yesterday was Memorial Day. Monday. Yesterday was Memorial Day. Hope Memorial Day was an enjoyable holiday for everyone as it was for me. And I think the next holiday, big holiday, is the 4th of July. Because I mean, this is June. Well, I mean, this May is finna be June. So the next big holiday is what, Father's Day. Well, I mean, Father's Day is in June, but the next big holiday, is the 4th of July. And so that'll be the next, big holiday. But I said I was gonna do 3 videos during this Memorial Day holiday, so that's what I'm doing. And I'm gonna move a little fast on my Instagram video today because time. But I'm gonna continue to complain. I'm gonna continue to speak out that people be saying they're a gang, they're a mob, and put stir on the end. Merriam-Webster Stir New International Dictionary, Oxford English Dictionary, gives you the complete total definition of the meaning of the word gang, mob, stir, any and every word. Then you say you're a boss, you're a goon, you're a thug, you're a crook, you're a hooligan, you're a Mac, you're a player, you're a pimp, you're a whore, you're a hustler, and you're a nigga, you're a field nigga, house nigga. Well, it's street slang. Everybody on this earth communicate and use language. And so there's nothing official, nothing right about no street slang. Examples of street slang, tic-tac-toe, hop, scotch. When it comes to music, examples of street slang, hip, hop, rock, roll, swing, groove, jazz, blues, funk, doo-wop, bebop. It's street slang. Nothing official, nothing right about no street slang. Now we can go to the quick reference. We can look up money, currency exchange. People all over the earth use money, currency exchange, and they make up street slang for money, currency exchange here in the United States of America. Examples of street slang for money, currency exchange: bucks, rack, stack, bands, bread, dough, scratch, loot, moolah, Benjamin, dead presidents. Nothing official, nothing right about no street slang. Now, when you pronounce all this, this is the point that when you be pronouncing all this street slang, see, a person with education, when you say hip, hop, rock, roll, you understand? When you say it, gang, mob, when you study the etymology of these words and the time, way back, You don't be in a state of mind like people that had education prior to the Roman Empire, for example, and prior to the Egyptian Empire. As if people didn't have education. Now, I take myself for example. I graduated high school with a high school diploma, and I do have some years of college. Monroe College online pursuing my associate degree studying business administration, contract market. I took a break, but I do intend to go back because I'm still having to pay those student loans. But some people didn't graduate high school, but they got a GED. And then some people with the GED, they earned a social degree, bachelor degree, master degree, PhD. Then you have all those people that just didn't go that far in school, period. Then if you ain't go that far in school, then you don't know reading, you don't know writing, you don't know math, you don't know science, you don't know technology, you don't know social studies. And then you don't know vocational technical training. Now on the job training. Then you had those people that did go further in school, they earned a social degree. They took the ACT and the SAT. I ain't gonna do nothing today. Excuse me. And they earned a social degree, bachelor degree, master degree, PhD, the sorority and the fraternity. Now, the pre-13 colony history, the history before 13 colony, that's important. It's very important. When we talk about street slang, when we be talking about the street slang, and it's that pre-13 colony history is very, very important. We don't negate that history. That history is important. Harvard University, the oldest institution of higher learning in the United States, founded March 13, 1639, Cambridge, Massachusetts. William & Mary College, Williamsburg, Virginia, founded February 1693, the second oldest institution of higher learning in the United States of America. Phi Beta Kappa Society, founded December 5th, 1776. The College of William & Mary, recognized as the first Greek letter student society North America. Alpha Delta Pi First Sorority, founded in 1851, Wesleyan College, Macon, Georgia. The first organization to adopt the word sorority was Gamma Phi Beta. Established on November 11, 1874, Syracuse University, Syracuse, New York. And then there was the first women's fraternity, DuPont College, around 18 something, but the basis of the sorority and the fraternity, them old world secret societies. For example, the Eastern Star, the Freemasons, they be talking about Euclid, the mathematician, lived in Alexander, used 1390, 1425 Holloway manuscript, Regis poem, the Cook manuscript. And then there's another manuscript, the Dowling manuscript. And then there are examples of those old world secret societies. The Opus Dei, the Knights Templar, the Scottish Rite, for example. The Skull and Bone, Rosicrucian, the Sons of Liberty, Thugs, Society of Private Scion, the Ordo Templar Orientis, the Knights of the Golden Eagle, the Woodmen, the Ancient Arabic Order, the Nobles of the Mystic Shrine, the Improved Order of Women, the Pio Sisterhood, the Eastern Star, the Freemason, the Elks, the Loyal Order of Moose, the Bilderberg Group, the Ku Klux Klan, Knights of Bethesda, Knights of Columbus, the Illuminati, the Foresters Society, Hermetic Order of the Golden Dawn, the Mystic Order of Baal, Prophets of the Enchanted Realm, United Order of the Golden Cross, United Ancient Order of Druid, National Grand, Ancient Order of Urban Names. That's just a few. There's some more. The Spanish Garduna, the Carbonaria, the Black Hand, Mafia. You say mafia, that's Afro-Asiatic. Cosa Nostra. You say Cosa Nostra, that's Latin. Triad, Yakuza, the Osirica. There's just a few. It's some more. So like I said, their history before the 13 colonies is very important. We don't negate their history. Their history is important. Because as you can see, when you talk about Harvard University, Cambridge, Massachusetts, see, when you go back, when you see Harvard University, John Harvard, he studied at Cambridge University over there in England. And that was Harvard University was founded in 1639. That was back in 15, so when he was over there in England. And see, Massachusetts state, it's one of the 13 colonies, Cambridge, Massachusetts. See? And then William and Mary College, Virginia, one of the 13 colonies. William and Mary, that's over and named after the King and Queen of England and all that. See, the pre-13 colony history, it's important. It's important. And so, you don't let the sorority and the fraternity mislead you. They commit crimes on and off the college and university campus. So for example, hazing. Hazing is a crime, and those are rituals. Those initiation rituals, so-called devil worship. There's no such thing as worshiping the devil. They made it up. Some made up junk. And they use and abuse tobacco products, chewing tobacco, cigarettes, cigars. They put drugs in the cigarettes and the cigars. They use and abuse alcohol and drugs. They indulge in immoral activity. They lie, steal, cheat, rape, assault, whatever it is, a crime, embezzlement, bribery. We can go on. They indulge in sexual deviance, depravity, they indulge in gambling, gangs of chance. Don't let the sorority and fraternity mislead you. Don't be misled because they're on the college and university campus. Get out the sorority and fraternity. Don't join the sorority and fraternity. Discourage others from joining the sorority and fraternity. Expose the sorority and fraternity. Renounce all those people that began the sorority and fraternity, the old world secret society. Denounce the whole concept, idea, sorority and fraternity, them old world secret society. Denounce. There's no such thing worse than the devil. The sorority and fraternity, the sorority and fraternity, the businesses, companies, and the corporations. The sorority and fraternity, they work for these businesses, companies, and corporations. They use and misuse the background check, and they commit crimes against humanity, atrocities. They violate human rights and civil rights, inhumanity, genocide, and ethnic cleansing, all forms of discrimination and harassment. They pollute the air, ground, water, as well as noise pollution. They destroy the environment, they destroy nature, they destroy wildlife. Don't be misled by the sorority and fraternity. Whatever, don't let the sorority and fraternity mislead you. Because they're on the college and university campus. That don't mean they're not trying to do what's right. And like I say, it's going to be a lot of court. It's going to be a lot of court. All these businesses, companies, corporations, and all these colleges and universities. It's going to be a lot of court. There's no such thing worse than no devil. And there's no such thing as all these churches. There's only one church. There's only one church. Only one. It's going to be a lot of court. Now, this is the International Bill of Human Rights. And this is the Convention on Elimination of All Forms of Discrimination Against Women. And this is the Declaration of the Rights of the Child. And this is the United Nations Convention on the Rights of the Child. And this is the world's oldest human rights organization, Anti-Slavery International. And this is the International Federation for Human Rights. And this is the world's oldest international conservation organization, BirdLife International. And this is Fauna and Flora International, was the world's first international wildlife conservation organization. And this is the world's oldest global environmental organization, International Union for Conservation of Nature, also the World Wildlife Fund. Excuse me. And so, like, just like those organizations, there's some more organizations. Amnesty International, Human Rights Watch, Global Rights Frontline Defenders, Human Rights Without Frontiers, International Center for Human Rights. Conservation International, Wildlife Conservation Society, Conservation Fund, Legal Conservation Approach, Earthwatch Institute, Conservancy Association, Earth Justice, Conservation Volunteers, Wildlife Conservation Network, Endangered Wildlife Trust, Biodiversity, and Nature Conservancy Association, Grass Species Conservation Center, the Wildlife Research and Conservation Trust, the Rainforest Trust, International Rainforest Conservation Organization, Rainforest Alliance, the Rainforest Action Network, Biodiversity International, Earth Day Network, Environmental Defense Fund, Friends of the Earth, Friends of Nature, Greenpeace, the Nature Conservancy, Wildlife Conservation Society, Soil and Water Conservation, Clean Water Action, World Water Council, Marine Conservation Institute, Marine Conservation Alliance, Oceanic Preservation Society, Oceanic Society, Global Ocean Commission, the International Marine Life Alliance. There are many more. They're just a few. There are many more organizations such as these, the ones we just mentioned. They're trying to stop it. They're trying to end all the crimes that are being committed by the sorority and the fraternity. And the basis of the sorority and fraternity, them old world secret society. And see, let's not forget all this wannabe devil worship, all this human sacrificing, animal sacrifice, all this poaching. See, that's where it comes from, them wannabe devil worshipers. It's no such thing as worship no devil. No such thing. Never has been. Never has been. It's a lie. And so, don't be misled by the sorority and fraternity. They commit crime. They work for these businesses, these companies, these corporations, and they commit crimes against humanity, atrocities. They violate human rights and civil rights, inhumanity, genocide and ethnic cleansing, all forms of discrimination and harassment. They pollute the air, ground, water, as well as noise pollution. They destroy the environment. They destroy nature. They destroy wildlife. Don't be misled by these sororities and these fraternities. They're not trying to do what's right. They're not trying to do what's right. They some wannabe devil worshipers in these old world secret society. Some wannabe devil worshipers. There's no such thing. Never has been. And see, when we go back to pre-13 colony history, we could continue to talk about the pre-13 colony history. And people like the Perizzites, the Jebusites, the Girgasites, the Hittites, the Hivites, the Amorites, the Canaanites, the Moabites, the Midianites, the Philistines, and it's some more. We can't name. Some of these groups were Indo-European groups, and when they talk about that street slang, like the Hittites and the Philistines, they were Indo-European groups. And when we talk about some gang and mob and stir and Jew, when you say Jew, that's Indo-European. And when you say boss and goon and thug and crook and hoodlum and mac and player and pimp and whore and hustler, and you say nigger, it's Indo-European. And it's not just one particular group. And see, these are the groups that you can even find in the Bible that God identified being these wannabe devil worshippers. And there's no such thing. God said, told the children of Israel to utterly destroy these people. When we talk about the pirates, see, that's who it was. When we talk about the people that were calling themselves a Jew, that's who the people were. Because it never was. The children of Israel, they weren't no Jew. Everybody said that the children of Israel were Hebrew. They were Hebrew. They weren't no Indo-European. They were Hebrew. See, the pre-13 colony history is important. When we talk about Cilicia and Tarsus, what modern day Turkey, today modern day Turkey. See, before the East African, West African slave trade, it was some slave trading going on, and that was the base. That was at least one of the bases for these criminals. Was modern day Turkey, Cilicia and Tarsus, and that part of the Mediterranean, and all these these pirates. Now, and see, remember, just like we were talking about the slave trade, the East African, West African slave trade. See, and bringing slaves from sub-Saharan Africa to the United States, even before the United States, to the Caribbean, to Central and South America, and then to North America, and to Mexico. But see, you had some most, first they came to the East Coast, and then you had slave ports in the southern states. Mississippi was a slave port. New Orleans, Louisiana, slave port. Galveston, Texas, that was a slave port. Even Alabama, the state of Alabama, the last slave that that were brought from sub-Saharan Africa came to Alabama. And the state of Florida, on both sides of the state of Florida, slaves were there were slave ports. And also Veracruz, Mexico, was a slave port. It was a slave port. And those pirates, they were heavily involved in the slave transporting of slaves. And so that pre-13 colony history is important. Don't negate that history, because you have what we have here is a list of place names of Native American origin in the United States. And state names: Alabama, Alaska, Arizona, Arkansas, Connecticut, Hawaii, Idaho, Illinois, Iowa, Kansas, Kentucky, Massachusetts, Michigan, Minnesota, Mississippi, Missouri, Nebraska, New Mexico, North and South Dakota, Ohio, Oklahoma, Tennessee, Texas, Utah, Wisconsin, Wyoming. Then we'll scroll all the way down to the bottom down here where it says C also. And it's a list of place names of indigenous origin in the Americas. And so that pre-13 colony history is important. You see all that stuff about street slangs and all that. See, there's no such thing as the East Coast being a gang base or a mob base. See, there's no such thing, because see, you have to remember, see them Indo-European groups, for example, when you be saying all that boss and goon and thug and nigger and gang and mob and pimp and whore and hustling and crook and all that. But see, them groups, them Indo-European groups you can find in the Bible, God wanted the children of Israel to utterly destroy them for devil worship. And there's no such thing. There's no such thing. And the East Coast is not no gang base, no mob base. Never has been, never will be, because the Native American and the first American were already living here. There's no such thing. There's no such thing riding around on no motorcycle talking about you a gang and a mob. There's no such thing. See, them sororities and them fraternities, they've been going around lying. That's what that is. Chicago, Illinois is not a gang base or a mob base. Never has been. When you say Illinois, Chicago, there's no such thing as saying it's gang and mob and you don't know the history of Chicago and Illinois. That just don't make sense. You run your mouth like you know what you're talking about. When you say Illinois, you say Chicago, that's Native American. That's First American. Ain't no way in the world you gonna get mixed up and say gang and mob. And then I'm looking in the Bible, I can go back to the Old Testament, and God said he wanted to utterly destroy some of them Indo-European groups, the Hittites and the Philistines, wanted the children of Israel to destroy them for worshiping the devil. And there's no such thing as worshiping no devil. So don't you even think that you're going to get away with running off at the mouth talking about some gang and mob. There's no such thing as no folk gang and no my people gang. There's no such thing. Never has been, never will be. There's no criminals. That's what that was. Los Angeles, California is not no gang base, no mob base. Don't even get me upset. There's no such thing. There's no such thing. You saying no gang and no mob out your mouth. And think I don't know what I don't know how to go to the Old Testament and I can see these Indo-European groups that God wanted to utterly destroy for being disobedient. Ain't no way. There's no such thing, no blood gang, no Crip gang, no such thing, no Stone gang. No such thing, never have been, never will be. Catholic Church, the Latin Rite, the Alexandrian Rite, the Armenian Rite, the Byzantine Rite, the East Syrian Rite, the West Syrian Rite, the Catholic Church, organized crime, supposed that want to be devil worship. There's no such thing. The Protestant Reformation movement, 95 thesis churches, major branches, minor branches, interdenominational movement. You have other developments, then you have related movements. It's the Catholic Church. The Catholics who were protesting the Catholic Church, they were Catholics. The Catholic Church called the Catholics that were protesting against the Catholic Church, called them Protestants. There's no such thing. No such thing. The American Restoration Movement, the Stone Campbell Movement. Talking about going back to the first century, as you know, Saint Ignatius of Antioch wrote several letters. One of the letters he wrote to the Smyrnaeans. And in that letter that Saint Ignatius wrote to the Smyrnaeans, he wrote the phrase Catholic Church. And after that, at the Roman Colosseum in front of 50,000 plus fans, Saint Ignatius of Antioch was eaten alive by lions. There's an S on the end. By lions, they were eaten alive. Yeah, he was, Saint Ignatius was alive. He was alive, and the lions ate him alive. The American Restoration Movement, Stone Campbell Movement, Churches of Christ, Unaffiliated Christian Church, Church of Christ Congregation, Christian Church, Disciples of Christ. That's not right. That's not the church. That's a made up junk. They made it up. Campbell and Stone, they made it up with a handshake. And then you have all these other man-made groups and organizations. L. Ron Hubbard, the Scientology, the Amish, the Mennonites. You had cult groups like Jim Jones, David Koresh. You have the prophets like Zoroaster, Prophet Muhammad, Sunni Muslim, Prophet Ali, Shiite Muslim. The Baha'i, they had a prophet. The Sikhs, they had a prophet. He wrote some kind of book. Then you have groups like the Moorish Science Temple, the Nation of Islam, the 5% Nation, the American Muslim Society. Khalid Muhammad, he was affiliated with the Nation of Islam. He started the new Black Panther Party. And then you have all these various black Hebrew Israelite groups. For example, Ben Ami over there in Israel right now. And then you have the Rastafarian movement. You have all these Pan-Africanists. Look, all this stuff is some man-made junk. Some man-made junk. And so Saul from Tarsus, the self-proclaimed Apostle Paul, he's a liar. He's a murderer. He's the devil. He wrote all those epistles, and in those epistles he called himself an apostle. He was lying. And all those man-made religious groups and organizations, they used those epistles that he wrote. One of the verses they used, Romans chapter 16, verse 16, salute one another with the holy kiss, the church with the subject ES of Christ salute you. This is 2 Thessalonians chapter 1 verse 4. So that we obviously have glory in you in the church with the subject is God for your patience and faith in all your persecution and tribulation that ye endure. Now this is a list of occult terms from A to Z. Now this is a list of occult symbols. Now this is these are world religions and occult symbols. And these are cult symbols. again, don't let the sorority fraternity mislead you with all them street slangs and all that, them old world secret society and all that street slang stuff. Now, these are just a few of the free logo design websites that you can go to make anti-gang logo. Now I'm gonna get ready to end my Instagram video. And after I end my Instagram video, I'm gonna do my Periscope video. So all those who are viewing my Instagram video, I'm gonna do my Periscope video. And as you know, my YouTube channel is recorded. So get ready to end my Instagram video. I just ended my Instagram video. Now I'm gonna do my Periscope video. Hello everybody, my name is Eric D. Johnson, also known by BrightShine, right here in the city of Memphis in the county of State of Tennessee. Today's date is early Tuesday morning, May the 28th, 2019. The time 3:30 a.m. First, I thank all my family, my support for your continued encouragement and support. Anti-gang. Anti-gang. Now these are just a few of the free logo design websites that you can go to make anti-gang logos. Remember these words. Remember these words. Coercion, coerce, sexual coercion, psychological coercion, psychological manipulation, psychological abuse. Now I just ended my Instagram video, and as you know, yesterday was Memorial Day, so I hope everyone enjoyed Memorial Day, and I, myself included. Excuse me. And like I said, I was going to do 3 videos. I had the opportunity to do 3 videos, and so that's what I'm doing. And I'm going to continue to complain. I'm going to continue to speak out. People saying they are gang, they are mob, they are stir. Put stir on the end of gang, mob. Merriam-Webster Stir, New International Dictionary, Oxford English Dictionary. It gives you the complete and total definition and meaning of the word gang, mob, stir, and in every other word. People saying they're a boss, they're a goon, they're a thug, they're a crook, they're a hoodlum, they're a mac, they're a player, they're a pimp, they're a whore, they're a hustler, they're a nigga. If you're a nigga, house nigga, well, it's street slang. People all over the earth communicate and use language. And it's street slang. Ain't nothing official or right about no street slang. And examples of street slang: tic-tac-toe, hop, scotch. When it comes to music, hip, hop, rock, roll, swing, groove, jazz, blues, funk, doo-wop, bebop. It's street slang. Nothing official, nothing right about no street slang. When it comes to money, currency exchange, we can go to the quick reference, Wikipedia. And we can look up currency. We can look up money, currency exchange. People all over the earth use money, currency exchange, and they make up street slang for money, currency exchange. Now, examples here in the United States of America. Examples of street slang for money, currency exchange: books, rack, stack, bands, brand, dough, scratch, loot, moolah, Benjamins, dead presidents. There's nothing official, nothing right about no street slang. Now, when you say all this stuff, I graduated high school diploma, and got some years of college. I haven't earned my associate degree in business administration, concentration marketing yet from Monroe College. I took a break, but I'm going back, and I'm gonna get my associate degree. I'm gonna earn my associate degree in business administration, concentration marketing. But then you have those people that just who didn't graduate high school, they got a GED, and they also earned a associate degree, bachelor degree, master degree, PhD. Then you have those people who just didn't go that far in school, period. For whatever reason, then you don't know reading, you don't know writing, you don't know math, you don't know science and technology, you don't know social studies, you don't know vocational and technical training. Now, on the job training, but now you have those people that did go further in school. You know, they graduated high school, took the ACT and SAT, and earned a social degree, bachelor degree, master degree, PhD. No, we're not gonna go there today. We're not gonna go there today. But you know, the sorority and fraternity. Now, as you know, that pre-13 colony history is important. The history, the pre-13 colonist history is important. We don't negate that. We don't negate that history. Now, think about it. Harvard University, the oldest institution of higher learning in the United States, founded March 13, 1639. Cambridge, Massachusetts, the state of Massachusetts, that's one of the 13 colonies. When you say Cambridge, John Harvard, he was over there in England. This is prior to the 13 colonies. Cambridge, he went to Cambridge University. William and Mary College, Williamsburg, Virginia. Virginia, one of the 13 colonies. Founded February the 8th, 1693. Second oldest institution of higher learning. Phi Beta Kappa Society, founded December the 5th, 1776. The College of William and Mary is recognized as the first Greek letter student society in North America. Alpha Delta Pi, first sorority, founded in 1851, Wesleyan College in Macon, Georgia. The first organization to adopt the word sorority was Gamma Phi Beta, established on November 11, 1874, Syracuse, University of Syracuse, New York. And the first women's fraternity, DePaul College, 18 something. Now the basis of the sorority and fraternity, them old world secret societies. For example, the Eastern Star of the Freemasons. They be talking about Euclid, the mathematician, lived in Alexandria, Egypt, 1390, 1425. And they talk about him in the Hollywood manuscript, the Regent formed the Cook manuscript. And also the Dowling manuscript. Now, examples of them old world secret society. The Opus Dei, the Knights Templar, the Scottish Rite. Now, Skull and Bones, Rosicrucians, the Sons of Liberty, Thug Society, the Private Scion, the Order of Templar Oriented, the Knights of the Golden Eagle, the Women, the Ancient Arabic Order, the Nobles of the Mystic Shrine, the Improved Order of Redmond, the P.O. Sisterhood, the Eastern Star, the Freemasons, the Loyal Order Moose, the Elks, the Loyal Order Moose, the Bilderberg Group, the Ku Klux Klan, Knights of Matthias, Knights of Columbus, the Illuminati, the Forester Society, Hermetic Order of the Golden Dawn, the Mystic Order of Veil, Prophets of the Enchanted Ram, United Order of the Golden Cross, United Ancient Order of Druids, the National Grain, Ancient Order of Hermannans. It's just a few. It's some more. The Spanish Garduna, the Carbonaria, the Black Hand. You say Mafia, that's Afro-Asiatic. Cosa Nostra, you say Cosa Nostra, that's Latin. The Triad, the Yakuza, the Osiris. It's just a few, it's some more. See, that's the reason why that pre-13 colony history is important. Don't negate that 13, that pre-13 colony history. And don't let the sorority and fraternity mislead you. Now the sorority and fraternity, as you know, they commit crimes on and off the college and university campus. For example, hazing is a crime. And like I said, hazing is a crime. Then those initiation rituals, devil worship, some wannabe devil worship. Because first of all, it has never ever been any such thing as being a devil worship. Worshiping the devil. God created any and everything. It's a lie. Devil worship is a lie. There's no such thing as worshiping no devil. They use and abuse tobacco products, chewing tobacco, cigarettes and cigars. They put drugs in the cigarettes and cigars. They use and abuse alcohol and drugs. They indulge in gambling and games of chance. They indulge in immoral activities. They lie, they steal, they cheat. Burglary, rape, assault, extortion, bribery, anything they consider crime, they fall upon it. They indulge in sexual deviance and depravity. See, don't let the sorority fraternity mislead you. They be on. See, they use the college and university campus to fool you. They're not trying to do what's right. They're not trying to do what's right. They're trying to commit a crime. because they based on those old world secret society. They trying to practice devil worship, just like all that poaching and animal sacrificing and human sacrificing. They so supposedly devil worship. There's no such thing as no devil worship. Never has been, and never will be. Don't join the sorority fraternity. Get out of the sorority fraternity. Don't get involved in the sorority fraternity. Or discourage others from being involved in the sorority fraternity. Expose the sorority fraternity. Renounce all those people that began or started the sorority fraternity, the old world secret society, and denounce the whole concept, idea of sorority fraternity, the old world secret society. Renounce. The sorority fraternity, they work for those businesses, the companies, the corporations. They use and misuse the background check, and they commit crimes against humanity, atrocities. They violate human rights and civil rights, inhumanity, genocide, and ethnic cleansing. All forms of discrimination and harassment. They pollute the air, ground, water, as well as noise pollution. They destroy the environment, they destroy nature, they destroy wildlife. Don't let the sorority fraternity mislead you. Don't be misled by the sorority fraternity. This is the International Bill of Human Rights. And this is the Convention on the Elimination of All Forms of Discrimination Against Women. This is the Declaration of the Rights of the Child. This is the United Nations Convention on the Rights of the Child. This is the world's oldest human rights organization, Anti-Slavery International. And this is the International Federation for Human Rights. And this is the world's oldest international conservation organization, BirdLife International. And this is Fauna and Flora International, was the world's first international wildlife conservation organization. And this is the world's oldest global environmental organization, International Union for Conservation of Nature, and also the World Wildlife Fund. Just like the organization just mentioned, some more. Amnesty International, Human Rights Watch, Global Rights Frontline, Defending Human Rights Without Frontiers, the International Center for Human Rights, and also Conservation International, Wildlife Conservation Society, Conservation Fund, the League of Conservation Voters, Earthwatch Institute, Conservative Health Association, Earth Justice, Conservation Volunteers, Also, Wildlife Conservation Network, Endangered Wildlife Trust, Biodiversity and Nature Conservancy Association, Rare Species Conservation Center, Wildlife Research and Conservation Trust, the Rainforest Trust, International Rainforest Conservation Organization, the Rainforest Alliance, the Rainforest Action Network. Biodiversity International Earth Day Network, Environmental Defense Fund, Friends of the Earth, Friends of Nature, Greenpeace, the Nature Conservancy, Wildlife Conservation Society, Soil and Water Conservation, Clean Water Action, World Water Council, Marine Conservation Institute, Marine Conservation Alliance, Oceanic Preservation Society, Oceanic Society, Global Ocean Commission, the International Marine Life Alliance. Now there are many more. There's just a few. There are many more organizations they're trying to end. They're trying to stop all the crimes that the sorority and the fraternity, the basis of the sorority fraternity, the old world secret society, that they be committed. You know, they work for these businesses, companies, and corporations, these sorority and these fraternity, and they commit crimes against humanity, atrocities. They violate human rights and civil rights. Inhumanity, the genocide and ethnic cleansing, all forms of discrimination and harassment. They pollute the air, ground, and water, including noise pollution. They destroy the environment, they destroy nature, they destroy wildlife. Don't be misled by the sorority fraternity being on a college or university campus. Don't be misled. They're not trying to do what's right. Now, see, when it comes to that street slang, that's the reason why the pre-13 colony history is so important. It's very important. We don't negate their history. Their history is important. Because, see, there were groups of people in the past. For example, the Perizzites, the Jebusites, the Girgasites, the Hittites, the Hivites, the Amorites, the Canaanites, the Moabites, the Midianites, the Philistines. There's some more we can't name all of them. Even in your Old Testament, God said, destroy these people. Told the children of Israel to destroy these people, utterly destroy them, because they would want to be devil worship. It never has been, never will be. No such thing as worshiping the devil. Never has been. See, some of them groups that we like, the Hittites and the Philistines, they Indo-European. Now the other groups, some Afro-Asiatic. And when you be saying all that street slang stuff, all that gang and mob and putting sterling in, talking about you a boss and a goon and a thug and a crook and a hoodlum and a mac and a player and a pimp and a whore and a hustler and nigga, field nigga, houseman. See, some groups of people, just like we say in the Old Testament, God told you to destroy the Philistines and Hittites. See, that's where all that Indo-European stuff come from. Some of these groups of people want to be devil worshippers. Because when you talk about the Native American, see, that's the reason why the pre-13 colony history is so important. All that stuff about the pirates, and the East African, West African slave trade. When you see the modern country of Turkey today. But see, that part of the world was considered to be a gang, considered to be a base for these criminals, for the pirates, Cilicia and Tarsus. And they were doing a lot of slave trade. And this was before the East African and West African slave trade. You see, that's where a lot of this street slang come from. They was want to be devil worship. That's the reason just like the East African West African slave trade, and bringing slaves from Sub-Saharan Africa to the United States of America and the East Coast, and bringing slaves. But then there were other slave ports in other states. The state of Mississippi was a slave port. New Orleans, Louisiana, slave port. Galveston, Texas, slave port. The state of Alabama, the last slave to come from Sub-Saharan Africa came to the state of Alabama. The state of Florida, on both sides, slave ports. Veracruz, Mexico, slave port. And so see, that's the reason why the pre-13 continent history is so important. Don't negate the 13, the history before the 13 continent. Now this is a list of place names of Native American origin in the United States. Alabama, Alaska, Arizona, Arkansas, Connecticut, Hawaii, Idaho, Illinois, Iowa, Kansas, Kentucky, Massachusetts, Michigan, Minnesota, Mississippi, Missouri, Nebraska, New Mexico, North and South Dakota, Ohio, Oklahoma, Tennessee, Texas, Utah, Wisconsin, Wyoming. Now we'll scroll down to the bottom down here, where it says see also a list of place names of indigenous origin in America. So like I said, there's a reason why that history before the 13th continent, you can see there's no such thing as the East Coast being a gang base or a mob base. There's no such thing. Because we read your Old Testament, some of them Indo-European, the Hittites, the Philistines, God wanted to utterly destroy them. That's where that gang and mob and boss and goon and thug, see that? There's no such thing. No such thing. There's no such thing riding around on a motorcycle talking about you're a gang and a mob. That'd be the sorority fraternity. That's the sorority fraternity. Chicago, Illinois. How you gonna say Illinois and Chicago? That's Native America, first America. And then turn around talking about a gun, talking about some gang and mob, and talking about some boss and goon and thug and crook and hoodlum and Mac and player and pimp and whore and hustler, nigga. Man, you say all that it don't have anything to do with Native American, first America. That's Indo-European. There's no such thing, no folk gang, no my people gang. Never has been. Never will be. There's no such thing as worshiping the devil. Never has been. God wanted to utterly destroy the Hittites and the Philistines. Told the children to destroy them. There's no such thing. No such thing in the city of Los Angeles, California, being no gang, no mob base. There's no such thing. No such thing, no blood gang, no crip gang, no stone gang. There's no such thing. Never have been, never will be. Now this is the Catholic Church. The Catholic Church. The Latin Rite, the Alexandrian Rite, the Armenian Rite, the Byzantine Rite, the East Syrian Rite, the West Syrian Rite. The Catholic Church. Organized crime. Some wannabe devil worshippers. The Protestant Reformation Movement Church in 95 Thesis. That's the Catholic Church. The Protestants who were protesting the Catholic Church, they were Catholics. The Catholic Church called the Protestants who were protesting against the Catholic Church, called them Protestants. Now there are major branches, minor branches in the denominational movement, other than the related movement. There's no such thing as, but that's the Catholic Church, organized crime, some wannabe devil worship. The American Restoration Movement, Stone Campbell movement, Campbell and Stone. They talking about going back to the first century and Saint Ignatius of Antioch. He wrote several letters. One of the letters that he wrote to the Smyrnaeans, he put the phrase Catholic Church in that letter. Now after he did that, Saint Ignatius of Antioch, in front of 50,000 plus fans at the Roman Colosseum, was eaten alive by lions. There's an S on the end, and he was alive when those lions ate him. So they was and so he was eaten alive by lions. The Churches of Christ, the unaffiliated Christian Church, Church of Christ Congregation, the Christian Church Disciples of Christ. That's the Catholic Church. That's the Catholic Church. And then you have these groups, such as the Moorish Science Temple of the Nation of Islam, the 5% Nation, the American Muslim Society. Now, Khalid Muhammad, he was affiliated with the Nation of Islam, and he started the New Black Panther Party, and also all these various Black Hebrew Israelites groups. For example, Ben Ami, Black Hebrew over there in Israel. Then you have all these Rastafarian movement, and then you have all these Pan-Africanists, and so and then you have all these like groups like the Scientology, L. Ron Hubbard. Then you have the Amish, the Mennonites, you have cults like Jim Jones, David Koresh, then Zoroaster, he's a prophet. Prophet Muhammad, he's a prophet, but that's a Sunni Muslim. Then you have Prophet Ali, the Shiite Muslim. The Mormons, that's what the Mormons. The Baha'i, they had a prophet, and the Sikhs, they had a prophet. He wrote a book. So it's going to be a lot of court. It's going to be a lot of court because there's only one church. There's only one church. There's only one church. Saul from Tarsus, the self-proclaimed apostle Paul. He's a liar, he's a murderer, he's the devil. And as you know, he called himself an apostle. He wrote all those epistles that he wrote. And in those epistles, he called himself an apostle. He was lying. He was lying. All these man-made religious groups, they be using those epistles that he wrote. Romans chapter 16, verse 16, salute one another with the holy kiss of the church with the suffix ES of Christ salute you. Now this is 2 Thessalonians chapter 1, verse 4, so that we ourselves glory in you in the church with the suffix ES of God for your patience and faith in all your persecution and tribulation that ye endure. Now this is a list of occult terms from A to Z. And these are a list of occult symbols. These are world religions and occult symbols. And these are cult symbols. So like so as we've been saying, don't let the sorority and fraternity mislead you because they be on a college and university campus. That don't mean they not trying to do what's right. Now, as you know, the United States of America, like all nations on this earth, they enact laws that are intended to make each and every one of us safe from organized crime. Now, one of the laws they enacted, the Organized Crime Control Act of 1970. And Title 9 of the Organized Crime Control Act of 1970 is the Racketeer, Influence, and Corrupt Organization Act, the RICO Act, is anti-gang. Also also the Comprehensive Drug Abuse Prevention and Control Act of 1970, the Controlled Substance Act, the Psychotropic Substances Act, the Continuing Criminal Enterprise Statute, the Kingpin Statute. It's all anti-gang. And this is the Juvenile Justice and Links Prevention Act of 1974, established the Office of Juvenile Justice and Links Prevention, as well as other related legislation. It's anti-gang. The Comprehensive Anti-Gang and this Office of Juvenile Justice and Links Prevention, and the Comprehensive Gang Model Office of Juvenile Justice and Links Prevention, the Bureau of Justice Assistant Office of Justice Program, and the United States Department of Justice, the Office of Justice Program, the Bureau of Justice Assistant, the United States Department of Justice, the Comprehensive Anti-Gang Mission Project Safe Neighborhood, the United States Department of Justice, the Office of Community-Oriented Policing Service, the Comprehensive Anti-Gang Initiative, the Office of Juvenile Justice and Links Prevention, the United States Department of Justice, the Office of Justice Program, the Bureau of Justice Assistance, the International Narcotics and Law Enforcement Affairs, the United States Department of State, Institute for Intergovernmental Affairs, Gang Resistant Education Training, the GREAT Program, the United States Department of Justice, the Office of Justice Program, the Office of Juvenile Justice and Links Prevention. October 2009, the National Youth Gang Center, which has been funded by the Office of Juvenile Justice and Links Prevention since 1995, merged with the National Gang Center, which has been funded by the Bureau of Justice Assistance since 2003. The National Gang Center, compilation of state laws against gang prevention overview research program. Mr. James Howard, the Office of Juvenile Justice and Links Prevention, the United States Department of Justice, the Bureau of Justice Assistance, the Office of Juvenile Justice, the Links Prevention, National Gang Center Bulletin, and the title of that bulletin is History of Street Gangs in the United States. And in the bulletin, there are books in the bulletin to refer to. Read those books in the bulletin. And then also you can go to the quick reference Wikipedia and you can find that same information. It'll be titled Gangs in the United States. The United States Department of Justice, Office of the United States Attorney Manual 1457, Criminal Street Gang Statute 18, United States Code 521. The United States Department of Justice, Federal Bureau of Investigation, National Gang Intelligence Center. The United States Department of Justice, the Organized Crime and Gang Second, then you have other federal, state, and local agencies. The United States Department of Justice, the Office of Justice Program, National Institute of Justice, Anti-Gang Strategies, Prevention, Intervention, Assessment, and Suppression. The United States Department of Justice, Office of Justice Program, National Institute of Justice, the United States Department of Health and Human Services, the Center for Disease Control and Prevention, National Center for Injury Prevention and Control, Change of Course, Preventing Gang Membership, and also striving to reduce youth violence everywhere. The United States Department of Justice, the United States Department of Education, the United States Department of Health and Human Services, the United States Department of Housing and Urban Development, the United States Department of Labor and the White House Office, a National Drug Control Policy, the National Forum, Youth Violence Prevention Forum. You can go to youth.gov and be informed about the National Forum, Youth Violence Prevention Forum, as well as the Comprehensive Anti-Gang. This is the Comprehensive Gang Model. The United States Department of Justice, Bureau of Justice Assistant, National Crime Prevention Council, keeping kids out of gangs, and also anti-hazing. You can go to Lord.com, be informed about anti-hazing. So, let me see, I was just, because I'm gonna end this first video. It's gonna be part 1. I'm trying to make sure at what time I'm gonna end it. But, now, as you know, there's only one church. Only one. And we're going to continue to stay on it. Our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, the Son of God, He established on the one church. On the one. The one. Matthew chapter 16, verses 13 through 19, and Matthew chapter 18, verses 15 through 20. It's on the one church. Gonna go to the United Nations. Gonna make it official. Oh yeah. It's gonna be done. See, it's a process that's being done. I'm gonna make sure I continue to read God's word and continue to speak out and complain. To continue to complain and speak out about this so-called gang and mob and all this stuff. But see, that's the same thing. See, when people think they can get away with this foolishness, it never has been, never will be no such thing as devil worship. Never has been, never will be. And see, every nation on this earth is a member of the United Nations. Is a member of the United Nations. And every nation that's a member of the United Nations has a Justice Department or a Ministry of Justice. And see, every government, every nation on this earth has a government. And the government is executive, legislative, and judicial. Now, some countries, let's just say the United States, for example. We have we have federal government. We have state government. Then we have local government. You understand? Now some countries, they have regional, governments. Excuse me. They have regional governments. And so, like I said, criminal and civil charges will be filed. Criminal and civil, because it's a crime. See, religious persecution. Persecuting the church. That's a crime. And see, we continue to talk about rights. People talking about they got the right to do this and they got the right to do that. Well, with rights come responsibility. And sometimes what you call it as being a right can be challenged in court. You claim you got the right to do this and do that, but then there's another side of the issue. They say no, you don't. You don't have that right, because they never had. That's what I'm saying. There's only one church, and you don't have that right to be taking no word out the Bible. You don't have that right to take no word out the Bible. You don't have no right to use and misuse the Bible, period. Who told you had the right to do that? Who told you that you got the right to use and misuse the Bible? The Bible is supposed to be a sacred book. The Holy Bible is supposed to be sacred. It's supposed to be sacred. So how you going to sit up there and tell somebody that you got the right when the Bible is supposed to be considered holy, supposed to be sacred? You don't have that right. It's not your right to desecrate the Bible. You don't have that right. You don't have that right. No, you don't. Talking about some gospel music. You don't have no right to take the word gospel out the Bible and then talk about some gospel music. You don't have that right. See, right. And so, it's going to be criminal and civil charges will be filed. Criminal and civil charges will be filed. The International Criminal Court. And in addition to criminal and civil charges being all the nations on this earth. Because that's a right that don't nobody have. Ain't no such thing worse than no devil. Never have been, never will be. See, just like a lot of these businesses, companies, and corporations. I told you there's going to be a lot of court. And here we are today. It's coming. It's a process that we're going through. And then think about the courtroom. See, you have a judge, you have a public defender, and you have a prosecuting attorney. So it's coming real soon. Now, the birth of our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, the Son of God. Matthew chapter 1 verses 18 through 25. Matthew chapter 2 verses 1 through 23. Luke chapter 1 verses 1 through 80. And Luke chapter 2 verses 1 through 52. The Lord's Supper. Matthew chapter 26 verses 26 through 29. Mark chapter 14 verses 22 through 25. And Luke chapter 22 verses 15 through 22. The Lord's Prayer. Matthew chapter 6. Luke chapter 11 verses 2 through 4. The Beatitudes. Read the Beatitudes. Matthew, the book of Matthew, chapters 5, 6, and 7. And Luke chapter 6 verses 20 through 49. John the Baptist. Matthew chapter 3 verses 1 through 17. Emphasize verses 11 through 17. Mark chapter 1 verses 1 through 11. Emphasize verses 7 through 11. Luke chapter 3 verses 1 through 22. Emphasize verses 16 through 22. And John chapter 1 verses 15 through 34. Emphasize verses 26 through 34. Our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, Son of God, teaching in the synagogue. Matthew chapter 4 verse 23. Mark chapter 1 verse 21. Luke chapter 4 verse 15. And John chapter 6 verse 59. Our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, Son of God, begins his ministry. Matthew chapter 4 verses 12 through 25. Emphasize verses 23 through 25. Mark chapter 1 verses 14 through 45. Emphasize verse 14, 39 through 45. In Luke chapter 4 verses 14 through 44. Emphasize verse 15, 43 and 44. In John chapter 1 verses 35 through 51. Our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, Son of God, chose 12 disciples. Matthew chapter 10 verses 1 through 42. Mark chapter 3 verses 13 through 35. And Luke chapter 6 verses 13 through 49. And John chapter 6 verses 59 through 71. Our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, Son of God, He established the one church, the only church. Matthew chapter 16 verses 13 through 19, and Matthew chapter 18 verses 15 through 20. Our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, Son of God, gives His apostle commission. Matthew chapter 28 verses 16 through 20. Mark chapter 16 verses 14 through 20. And Luke chapter 24 verses 44 through 49. And John chapter 21. The death, burial, and resurrection of our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, the Son of God. Matthew chapter 26 verses 1 through 75. Matthew chapter 27 verses 1 through 66. Emphasize verse 50. Joseph of Arimathea, a disciple of our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, Son of God, took His body down from the cross. And also verses 57 through 60. In Matthew chapter 28 verses 1 through 20. Emphasize verses 16 through 20. Mark chapter 14 verses 1 through 72. Mark chapter 15 verses 1 through 47. Emphasize verse 37. Joseph of Arimathea, a disciple of our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, Son of God. And also verses 43 through 49. Mark chapter 16 verses 1 through 20. Emphasize verse 14. Verses 14 through 20. Luke chapter 22 verses 1 through 71. Luke chapter 23 verses 1 through 56. Emphasize verse 46. Joseph of Arimathea, a disciple of our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, Son of God, took his body down from the cross. And also verses 50 through 56. Luke chapter 24, verses 1 through 53. Emphasize verses 44 through 53. John chapter 17, verses 1 through 26. John chapter 18, verses 1 through 40. 1 through 40. John chapter 19, verses 1 through 42. Emphasize verse 30. Joseph of Arimathea, a disciple of our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, Son of God, took his body down from the cross. And also verses 38 through 42 in John chapter 20, verses 1 through 31, and John chapter 21, verses 1 through 25. Our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, Son of God, gives his apostle permission. Matthew chapter 28, verses 16 through 20, Mark chapter 16, verses 14 through 20, Luke chapter 24, verses 44 through 49, and John chapter 21. Excuse me. Just a few more minutes. I'm trying to let this video go ahead and run. That way it'll be exactly 2 hours. And then I'm going to start another video. It's about 6 minutes. So, but like I said, when it comes to court, I don't want nobody to think that it's not going to be, oh yeah, it will. It is. But see what the situation is, that for so long, each and every one of us have been walking around and we've been taught all this Catholic stuff and all this Protestant stuff, all this American Restoration stuff and all this other stuff, all this Islam and all this Hindu and Buddhist, and for so long that's what we've been taught. That's not what God wanted us to learn. See, all this stuff is some man-made junk. Some junk. When I say junk, I mean something that you know what you do with junk. You throw it away. It's nothing that you value, nothing that you need. You know, it'd be over there in the junkyard. And that's what all that man-made religious mess is, some junk. That's all it is, some junk. Something that we just don't need. And so it's going to be a lot of court. Just like on the college and university campus, they're not exempt. They're not exempt. They're trying to mislead all the people in this nation, as well as around the world. Not gonna get away with it. Not gonna get away with it. It may appear that way right now. It may seem that way. But see, as of today, there's only one church, and it's not the Church of Christ. You know, you trying to tell somebody what the church is. Jesus Christ had already told you. It's the church. And that's what it means. It's the church. And then when you see so many places in the New Testament, Jesus Christ never said what you said. So you think you're getting away? Well, you're going to find out the hard way. And you're not getting away. You're going to be criminal and civil charge. Charge coming. You're going to be criminal and civil charge. Because you don't have that right. It's not your right. It's not your right. And that's an important thing to continue to emphasize. That people need to think about, how all these years, just like you be on your job, and you got somebody in management who went to school talking about they some esotericism. Talking about the Kabbalah and all that. See, there's no such thing. There's no such thing. Some wannabe devil worship. That's what it is. Some wannabe devil worship. So what I'm gonna do? We're gonna continue discussing what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna get ready to end the first video, and it's gonna be dated May the 28th, 2019, part 1, and then I'm gonna start part 2. But like I said, it's gonna be quick. See, this is what the initial stage. See, you don't even have it right. A lot of people don't. They've been letting you walk around so long, like the Southern Baptist Convention, for example, and the National Baptist Convention, and all these Methodists and the Catholic. You'll go down into the public defender's office, and nobody really will say anything because they really don't know what they talking about themselves. That's the situation we have, just like over at the International Criminal Court, not trying to insult nobody, but it's just for so long, people have been taught for so long, the Catholic Church and all the particular church. But see, that's a lie they've been telling. They've been lying the whole time. And it's going to come to an end. The public defender's office and the prosecuting attorney's office, the judge, and then when you talk about the government, the executive, and legislative, and judicial branch of government, for so long, people been accustomed to being lied to and lying. It's coming to an end. It's going to be criminal and civil charges. There's going to be a lot of people in the Catholic Church going to get themselves arrested and put in prison for the rest of their life, including the Pope, starting with the Pope, and then from going down the chain of command. Like I just said, I'm gonna end this video. It's 2 hours long, and it's gonna be dated May the 28th, 2019, part 1, and then I'm gonna start part 2.